Get some rest, darling. No one can hear you scream down here. James laughed as he slammed the basement door shut. I heard the locks clicking. The sound sent chills through me, not from fear, but from anger. My name is Olivia Parker. I'm 28 years old, and I never thought my own husband would lock me in my basement. Just yesterday, we celebrated our 5th wedding anniversary. Now I was trapped while James planned to steal my $400 million inheritance. I heard his footsteps upstairs. He was confident, thinking he had won. The basement was soundproof. His idea when we renovated last year. I should have seen the warning signs. You won't get away with this, I said, keeping my voice calm. James laughed. I already have. By the time people realize you're missing, I'll have everything. Your family's fortune, the estate, everything. And you? Just a tragic accident. I sat on the cold floor, but I wasn't helpless. 3 months ago, I noticed money disappearing from our accounts. When I asked James, he had excuses. Business deals, investments. But I wasn't foolish. My father had taught me to be careful with money. So I prepared. I installed hidden cameras, set up a secret phone line, and gathered proof of James's lies. I documented every transaction, every late-night call, every meeting he thought I didn't know about. You trust too easily, Olivia, James taunted. Just like your father did. Did you really think I married you for love? His words made my blood boil. My father built our family's fortune from nothing, leaving it all to me when he died. James pretended to grieve, but now I saw the truth. I heard him moving upstairs, probably trying to access my accounts. He had no idea I'd already talked to my lawyers. The inheritance wasn't as easy to take as he thought. It must kill you, he said. All your father's hard work is about to be mine. I thought of my father's last words, be careful who you trust, money changes people. I should have listened. The basement was getting colder. James had turned off the heat. He wanted to break me, make me sign over my fortune. But he underestimated me. My watch vibrated, a message on my hidden phone. Right on time. The cameras had been recording everything. My security team was watching. I have to step out, darling, James called. Bank meetings, you understand. Don't try to escape. He laughed and left. I waited until I heard his car drive away. Then I pulled out my phone and texted my team. Did you get that? Every word, they replied. Police are on the way. Your lawyer has been notified. I smiled. James had no idea about the hidden exit my father had built behind the wine racks. He didn't know I had been ahead of him the whole time. Another text came. He's heading to the airport. Should we stop him? No, I replied. Let him think he's escaping. It'll be more satisfying when he's caught. Sirens grew louder. Soon this nightmare would be over. But as I sat in the darkness, I wondered, how had I missed the signs? How did I let someone betray me so completely? Maybe money didn't change people. Maybe it just revealed who they really were. I heard cars outside. Heavy footsteps. Help had arrived. James thought he was the one in control. But in the end, this was my game. And I had already won. The police found me exactly where James had left me, sitting calmly in the basement. Their flashlights lit up the room, their faces full of concern. They probably expected me to be scared and shaken. Instead, I stood up, dusted off my clothes, and walked out on my own. Mrs. Parker, Detective Martinez said, holding a notebook. Are you all right? Do you need medical help? I shook my head. No, but I do need my laptop. There's something you should see. Upstairs, my house had become a crime scene. Officers were taking photos, collecting evidence. James had left in such a hurry he didn't even close his laptop. Another mistake. He's heading to the airport, I told Martinez, pulling up the security footage. Private terminal. He has a friend with a charter company. Martinez raised an eyebrow. You seem very prepared. I met his gaze. I'd been watching my husband plan this for months. I clicked through files, bank statements, recorded conversations, security footage. James thought he was smart, but he never considered that I might be smarter. Martinez scrolled through the evidence, eyes widening. This is a lot. You've been collecting proof against your own husband. Since I first noticed money missing, I said. James got sloppy. He thought I wasn't paying attention. An officer called Martinez over. They had found James's burner phone, left behind in his rush to escape. Another careless mistake. My phone buzzed. A message from my security team, James spotted at private airport, trying to book a flight to the Cayman Islands. Of course. That's where he thought my family's money was. Another wrong assumption. Detective, I said you should send officers to Blackwood Private Airport. My husband is about to flee the country. Martinez was already on his radio, giving orders. I leaned back, watching everything unfold. Part of me felt numb. My marriage had been a lie. But another part, my father's daughter, felt satisfied. Mrs. Parker, Martinez asked, serious now. How long have you known about his plan? I pulled up my calendar. The first sign? 3 months ago, James started asking about my inheritance. He thought he was being subtle. But I shrugged. Let's just say I inherited more than money from my father. The detective nodded. And you didn't confront him. That wasn't the goal, I said. I needed to know how deep this went. Who else was involved? I clicked on another file. Like Charles Weber, James's so-called business partner, they've been planning this for months. Martinez's eyes sharpened. Weber? We've been investigating him for fraud. I know, I said. I have a file on him too. Want to see? For the next hour, I walked the police through everything. James's secret meetings, his plans to steal my inheritance, the evidence I had gathered. He thought he was being careful, but I had recorded every step. My phone buzzed again. A video feed from the airport. James, handcuffed, furious. He had almost escaped. Almost. Martinez hung up his radio. Your husband is in custody. He wants to talk to you. I laughed. Let me guess. He says I set him up? Exactly, Martinez said. I clicked on one last file. Then he won't like this. A video played. James and Weber in my home office discussing their plan. How they'd lock me in the basement, force me to sign everything over, make my disappearance look like an accident. James's voice was clear, confident. Martinez watched, stunned. Your cameras caught all this. My father always said knowledge is power, I said. James never learned about the security in this house. He was too busy thinking about money. An officer brought in a box of evidence, James's hidden safe. Inside were fake documents, power of attorney, a forged will, proof of his plan. Mrs. Parker, Martinez said, closing his notebook. We have enough to charge him, but we'll need you to give a statement tomorrow. I nodded, already dialing my lawyer. The legal battles were just beginning, trials, a divorce. But I had my home back. I was safe. As the police left, I walked through my house, turning on lights. In the kitchen, I saw James' half-finished coffee cup from this morning. Just hours ago, he had been here, confident he had won. My phone buzzed one last time. A message from my security team. All accounts locked. System secure. Continue monitoring? Yes, I typed. And thank you. My father would be proud. I looked out the window. The last police car drove away. The sun was setting, casting long shadows across the garden. James had tried to trap me in that basement. He thought he had control. But sometimes the darkest places show us our true strength. 1 year later, I sat in a courtroom, watching as James was led away in handcuffs after receiving his sentence. 15 years for attempted murder, fraud, and conspiracy. His once confident smirk had disappeared, replaced by a haunted look as reality finally set in. Charles Weber had turned on him months ago, accepting a plea deal in exchange for testifying. James's perfectly orchestrated plan had crumbled, just like our marriage, leaving nothing but evidence of his crimes. Outside the courthouse, reporters gathered, hungry for details about the wealthy heiress who outsmarted her murderous husband. I walked past them, head held high, ignoring their questions. My lawyer handled the press while I slipped into my waiting car. Home, my driver asked. Actually, I said, checking my watch, let's go to the foundation. The Elizabeth Parker Foundation, named after my mother, had become my focus over the past year. Instead of letting James's betrayal break me, I channeled my energy into creating something meaningful. We helped women escape abusive relationships, provided resources for financial literacy, and funded domestic violence shelters. The building that housed the foundation was modern, filled with light and hope. As I walked through the doors, Sarah, my program director, greeted me with a warm smile. How did it go? She asked, falling into step beside me. 15 years, I replied. Weber's testimony sealed it. We entered the main meeting room where a support group was just finishing. Women from all walks of life, each with their own story of survival. Some nodded in recognition as I passed. They knew my story, and I knew theirs. The new shelter opens next month, Sarah reported, handing me a file. We're already at capacity for applications. I scanned the documents, pride swelling in my chest. Each woman we helped was a victory, a light pushing back against the darkness that men like James tried to create. My phone buzzed. A message from Detective Martinez. Thought you'd want to know. Weber gave us names of 3 other men involved in similar schemes. We're building cases now. I smiled, remembering Martinez's words from a year ago. Sometimes one case breaks open dozens more. He'd been right. James and Weber's arrest had exposed a network of fraudsters targeting wealthy women, and one by one, they were falling. Later that evening, I returned to my home, not the house I'd shared with James, but a new place, one without memories of betrayal. The security system welcomed me with soft peeps, cameras tracking my movement out of habit more than fear now. In my office, I opened my father's old leather journal. Its pages were worn, filled with his wisdom and advice. One passage caught my eye. True strength isn't in what we have, but in how we use it to help others. A knock at the door interrupted my reading. It was Emma, my younger sister, carrying takeout and wearing a determined expression. No wallowing allowed, she announced, setting down the food. I know today was rough, but we're celebrating. Celebrating what? I asked, closing Dad's journal. You, dummy, your strength, your foundation, everything you've built from this mess. She started unpacking containers. Remember what you told that first support group? Every ending is a chance for a new beginning. I smiled, remembering that day. I'd been terrified to share my story, but seeing the hope it gave others made it worth it. Fine, I conceded, reaching for the food. But no toast this time. Last time you gave a speech, it lasted 30 minutes. That was one time, she protested, laughing. As we ate, Emma updated me on her life. Her residency at the hospital, her plans for the future. Normal, everyday things that reminded me life went on after trauma. Dad would be proud, she said softly. Not just of how you handled James, but of what you're doing now. The foundation? Helping others. It's exactly what he would have wanted. I nodded, feeling tears prick at my corners of my eyes. I just wish. I started. He could see it. Emma finished. He can. Trust me. After Emma left, I stood at my window, looking out at the city lights. The foundation's latest campaign video was playing on a billboard in the distance. Your story isn't over. It's just beginning. My phone buzzed one last time. A message from Sarah. Just got a call. 3 more women came forward after hearing about the verdict. They're ready to talk. I smiled, already planning tomorrow's meetings. James had tried to lock me in the darkness, thinking it would break me. Instead, it had shown me my purpose, helping others find their light. The basement that was meant to be my tomb had become the foundation for something bigger than myself. Every woman we helped, every story we shared, every life we changed, it was all part of turning darkness into light. My father had been right about money changing people, but he'd also been right about something else. True strength comes from how we use our power to help others. James had never understood that, but I did. And that understanding had made all the difference. Standing there in my new home, surrounded by the life I'd built from the ashes of betrayal, I felt nothing but peace. James had tried to write my ending, but instead he'd only opened the door to my beginning. And what a beginning it was.